What's going on, everybody? This is John O'Connor of Behind the Barricade Podcast, and I'm with
Daniel Tao.
And we have a very special guest, all the way from Westchester, New York, which isn't that far from us at all. We have Jamie Alimorad. How's it going, Jamie?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Doing all right.
What's going on, dude?
You loving this rain out here?
Hating it, but you know it's better than snow.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't like gray days that much, but I'll take this over a snowstorm any day.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
So, are you currently living in Westchester?
Yes. I was born and raised here, and I still make my home here at this point.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, I've been looking over your Facebook photos. Red Sox fan?
Big Red Sox fan.
Big Red Sox fan in
Red
Westchester.
Big Red Sox. Since I was 5 years old, there's a lot to it. It's more than just a simple game or something like that. A game that I watched, first one I ever watched, put me over the edge, but there's a little bit of influence coming in there from family members, and I just grew to love baseball. And when I was a kid, I didn't really understand how big this country is, so I thought Boston was just right next door,
The
basically,
country.
not realizing it's a couple of hours away. And I just thought everybody liked the Red Sox. I didn't realize. So when I started doing Little League, and on the back of everyone's baseball card, you had to put your favorite player and favorite team. Nobody had the Red Sox, and I was really confused by it. And then as I got into school, I realized, oh wait, this is going to be pretty tough.
Absolutely. Who's your favorite player?
Of all time?
All time.
My favorite Red Sox player of all time is Bill Miller. And
Oh, no.
I don't even have no clue who Bill Miller is.
I mean, I didn't know much about him when he was on the Cubs and the Giants, but my favorite number is 11.
Okay.
When he came to the team, he actually took the place of my favorite player of that time, Shea Hillenbrand. And
I've heard of him.
actually was really upset about it. And then the first game I saw Bill play was against the Yankees, and he hit 2 home runs.
Yeah.
And I said, that guy is doing my number proud. All right, I'm in with Bill Miller. And that was in 2003. So, and then, of course, what happened in 2004 with Bill, I mean, that just put him over the top of me. And, of course, he did that because he was my guy.
Yeah.
And, I love the stars. I love Nomar. I love Pedro, Vaughn, Manny, of course, Ortiz. But I tend to like to get a little bit more into the second tier of players because they need some love too.
Mm-hmm.
So, the Bill Millers and the J.D. Drews and the Jared Saltalamakias, I gravitated towards them a lot in recent years. And, when they were not a championship team, the John Valentins and Tom Gordons, and I was into that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm guessing Dan's a Yankee fan?
Yeah, and my favorite player was Jorge.
Jorge.
Yeah. I always thought his name was George. I'm like, oh, George. And George, you're awesome. And they're like, oh, it's Jorge. Like,
It's just different language. It means the same thing.
exactly. Just pronounced differently.
Yeah, I can't wait for baseball to start. Since spring training has gotten going, I just look at those pictures and I say, please, tomorrow, let it just happen.
Have you ever been down to Florida for spring training?
I haven't been down to spring training.
It's
but
definitely a must.
I really want to do it, and they have new facilities, and it looks incredible. And I new being 4 or 5 years old, but I really want to go see it. I used to work for the Red Sox in college, and it
Really?
Nice.
It was the best job in the world. I used to go to every game. For 3 years, I was a tour guide at Fenway Park, and I was there every day. 5 to 7 days a week I was there.
Dude, that's
even
sick.
in the dead of winter, and it was fantastic.
So how many weird facts do you know about Fenway?
Probably some of the dumbest things you could ever want to.
God.
What's the dumbest thing that every time you say it, you're like, oh, I can't believe I'm saying this to people?
Well, actually, the coolest fact that I learned was that there's a ladder on the Green Monster, and you have to pay a little bit of attention to see it on TV. But when you're at the ballpark, you can see it clear as day. And it used to have a pretty big purpose in that above the wall there was a net. Someone would climb the ladder and fish out all the home run balls.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Since the seats have been put in 2003, it doesn't really serve a purpose anymore. But I did read in the official rule book, ground rules, and baseball reference, and it's never happened before, but if a ball gets stuck on the ladder, which is basically impossible because the ladder's not up against the wall, it's the only ground rule triple in Major League Baseball. And I think that's a pretty cool fact.
Ground rule
awesome.
triple. Wow.
Ground triple. It won't happen. The physics I don't think are possible, but if anyone ever asks, is there such thing as a ground rule triple at Fenway Park? There is a ground rule triple, and I think that's pretty cool.
Okay, my mind is officially blown.
Yeah, that ballpark is full of all sort of kooky facts, and I guess the thing that kind of makes you roll your eyes a lot is the measurements, especially for left field. That wall has never moved from when it was constructed in 1934. Wow. Yet the dimensions to the foul pole have changed 4 or 5 times. So you tell me how that's happened.
Holy crap!
They couldn't measure it correctly. It's been 325, it's been 320, it's been 315, and it's 310 now. So I don't know. I don't know why that is.
Well, speaking of Fenway, you actually performed the national anthem at Fenway. Was that during your work history there, or was that before, after?
It was actually completely separate from being an employee. Oh, wow. I went to Northeastern University, which is about a mile away, and I was a music tech major, and they do a Northeastern night for the senior class every year, and they have someone from the class sing the anthem, and I was chosen to do it, and it was an absolute blast. It was a dream come true, and I was kind of in a trance the whole time because I've sung that song many times before. I've done the anthem in other venues, but never with 40,000 people, and I don't know. It was the sort of thing. It's so quiet in a stadium where there's all those people.
And no one's looking at you,
and they're waiting for you.
Yeah, and they're all some of them are singing, but they're all looking at the jumbotron or right onto the field. And I can distinctly remember when I did Banner Yet Wave. I did a pause, and someone whistled. I heard that whistle. It kind of snapped me out of the trance I was in, and then I started looking around and realizing, holy crap.
Well,
the anthem at Fenway Park.
The funny thing is, if you were at a rock concert, people would be screaming and yelling. That kind of like it's like white noise. But when you're at a stadium, you have nothing. You're like, it's all you. You better not screw up. And
and
magnified.
It was wild. It was really wild, and I hope to do it again. And I would sing the anthem at any park. It doesn't any sport really. But to do it on such a grand scale for that reason with my school, and to do it for the Sox, I mean, that was just surreal.
For the dream come true, yeah.
That was great.
Wow. So I'm actually looking at you now. Obviously, the people hearing this won't be able to see this, but is that a Gramercy Theater marquee?
Yeah. No, Gramercy. Well, there's 2. There's Webster Hall and Whiskey A Go Go, and I just redid this room actually. This is my new studio space where I'm demoing everything for my new album.
Nice.
And got some decor up there, and I've done a lot of performing in both New York and Los Angeles. Nice. And those are 2 of my most proud moments as far as venues that I played. And I'm a big 80s rock guy. Not so much the hair band music, but a lot of my favorite acts thrived in the 80s, whether it's Van Halen or the Tubes or Bryan Adams, and everybody that I've ever looked up to from a rock point has played on the Sunset Strip. And
absolutely.
The is like a mecca to me that I have to go there. And 5 years ago, I got a call from them after I released my first album, and they said, "We want you to come out to LA and play on the stage." And what? Yes. Yeah, when do you need me there? And then a couple of months later, it went out, and that show had there was a lot that went into it, but man, what a thrill! And I've been back a couple of times since, and every time it's just an absolute blast to play there.
Nice.
Wow. So going off of that, this show is about music with a concentration on touring and concerts and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
And you've played shows on both ends, as you basically just said, both coasts. Do you approach a sold out headlining show in LA differently than Vegas or New York City, or is it all one and the same?
Honestly, the only reason I could approach it differently is the size of the room. Where I played Vegas once, and I played a college club, basically. It was just off of UNLV's campus, and I think it held 100 to 150 people. But when you're playing the Whiskey or the Roxy, or the biggest venue I played in LA was the Troubadour.
Oh, the Troubadour, yep.
Troubadour especially is 2 levels, and it's big. So you're dealing with a much larger stage. You're dealing with a much different kind of crowd and concentration that they're giving you. And I don't really approach it city by city differently unless I know that I'm going to a place and to a venue where I feel that they would like this set more than that set. If I'm playing a coffee house, I'm not going to play one of my hard rock songs. I'm going to do more of an acoustic thing. I mean, I might play the hard rock song, but I'm going to do it in a totally different way.
Yeah.
But likewise, if I'm going to play a bigger room, for me, I don't have a song like Yesterday that it would be like you can hear a pin drop and they're just hanging on every word. That's not going to happen. So I want to keep the energy up, and I'll stick with that stuff. And the ballads that I do, they got to have some oomph behind them. So it's not so much the city; it's more the venue and the size.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So we're here today discussing. We're just interviewing, and you're promoting your new single, "Rock Me to Heaven."
Yes.
60,000 views on YouTube in a little over a month.
Yeah, it's been going great.
How crazy has that whole experience been?
It's been fantastic, and Rock Me to Heaven is a new direction for me stylistically, and it was written and produced by an idol of mine in Gino Vannelli, and we're working on a new record together, a 10-song album, and it's a dream come true for me to work with him because I've been a real fan of his since about 8th grade, and I've spent hours and hours dissecting and performing his music, and now he's kind of doing it to my music.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really, really wild, and I haven't been on the road with him performing, but we meet up when he's close by on the East Coast, and he's out in Portland, Oregon, so I go out there every so often, and we're just trying to figure out all the P's and Q's to finish this, and so far what we have is a great product, and I can't wait to get it out there. But Rock Me to Heaven has been met with a lot of love, and I was a little nervous about it because it is pretty different. If you compare this to what I've done in the past, it's a little more organic, it's a little more singer-songwriter-y, and
yes.
it brings in elements that I wasn't doing before. But a lot of people have been reaching out to me, and for the most part, they like it more. So I feel like we're onto something.
Now, I'm actually curious because we're in bands, and if we posted a song on Twitter, not Twitter, but like YouTube, we'd get maybe a couple hundred likes after, maybe a couple months or so.
Sure.
What would you say is the reason behind all your, it seems like you have a lot of, following, like a big following, and what would you say is the reason for getting 60,000 likes in?
What's the secret, Jamie?
What's the secret?
I don't shut up about it. Did you watch it? Did you look at it? Go look at it. It's good. You'll like it. Watch it. Please watch it.
We just did right before.
Yeah, that's basically what it's been, and it's been pushing it and promoting it as much as possible, and advertising, web banners, setting up interviews like this, every possible way that I can get it to someone. I have to do it. That's what it is.
And
so
if only the bands we've been in felt the same way.
Absolutely.
It's hard to get everybody in a band to feel the way what you just explained. We wish we could clone and put it into every member in our bands.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I know the struggle because I started being in bands when I was in 7th grade, and I formed a little garage band. We played all the middle school dances, and in every outlet that I was in, until I started going solo, it was the same thing. Who's the really serious ones? Who's the one that's just doing it for the attention, and especially the chicks?
Yeah.
And who's doing it just because this could be cool? And it only really works if everybody's pulling their weight.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
I love the idea of a band. I wish I was in a band, but it's so hard to keep a band together because you really have to be one unit. And, it speaks volumes that a group like the Rolling Stones can still stand being around each other after 50 years and all that they've been through. Where you look at most bands today, they really burn out very quickly. But most of the classic bands are still doing something. And even if it's difficult, they can still do it and still stand to be around each other. And that's that's the thing nobody can teach you. You could be the greatest players in the world, but if you can't get along and you can't get on the same page, it's still never going to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, actually, Metallica does it right. What they do is there's 4 different tour vans for each member, and the first time they meet, they see each other every day is at sound check.
Yeah, it makes sense. When you've been together that long, that makes sense. If you're just starting to cut out your teeth, you need to grow together. But they've been a group for 30 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, and I mean, you've seen the documentary at this point.
Yeah.
There's some bad blood there, which is natural.
Of course, yeah.
Anything is like that. So if that's what works for them, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, they're 4 brothers. If you put 4 brothers in any situation, they're going to start hating each other. I mean, the love is still there, but, everyone gets on each other's nerves and whatnot, so.
It's good.
Yeah, I think there's maybe like a 7-year window with new acts. Like, for example, take a look at Lady Gaga. Like, she was huge back in 2009, was it?
That's when she broke, yeah.
Yeah, and then right now I don't want to say she's at the end of her road.
She's trying to reinvent herself. Mm-hmm. She's trying to go back to what she was in college. And I actually went to high school with a girl that was in NYU Tisch with her.
Oh, wow.
They class together. And she said it's remarkable what they did to her, what the record label did to her. And I actually just saw a video of her from, I think she was in high school doing some sort of talent competition. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't recognize her. And she did 2 original songs. She was playing piano and singing. And I just sat there and listened and said, if she was doing that, I would buy it. Mm-hmm. But I'm just not into the whole freak show thing.
Yeah. But that's the problem. Bands and artists these days need a gimmick. You have Kanye being a sociopath. But, his music is great to most people. Not Dan.
Yeah, no.
Dan's not a fan.
Still horrible.
Lady Gaga has the meat suits. Justin Bieber was the bad boy. Now he's trying to reinvent himself, the little Justin Timberlake type of path.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
There were gimmicks in the old days, too, but at least it was musical. Yeah. I don't really feel anything new coming out of this. And I don't really feel that they're saying anything. It just comes across as 2-dimensional to me. Other people out there obviously disagree with me because they're buying it.
Exactly.
But to me, I just don't feel like there's anything that I say, wow, I need that. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I do really feel that Lady Gaga or Stephanie, whatever you want to call her, she is actually very talented.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
I just wish that we could do it without looking like Fee Waybill's character Quaalude or Dee Snider in Twisted Sister.
Yeah. She looks like at the Super Bowl. There was a funny meme that she looked like that leader lady from To Kill a Mockingjay.
Yeah.
Hunger Games. Yeah.
Hunger Games. Yeah.
Yeah. I got you. To me, I saw the one where I forgot because it's once you get past 151, I lost track of Pokemon. Yeah. But she looked like another 2nd or 3rd gen Pokemon and side by
side. Had blonde hair and it was pink and stuff. Yeah, I know that one. Yeah. Oh God.
So what's your gimmick, Jamie? Are you just that straight shooter, gives the fans what they want?
Before I was doing very much a pop rock thing, and again I said I'm a big 80s fan, so I was doing very much trying to do a new sound or a modern sound of what people like Bryan Adams and Richard Marx and Rick Springfield were doing 30 years ago, but doing it my way and for 2013. But since I started doing this project with Gino, and we talked about what is it that we can do to put myself out there, and we sat down and we talked about every element of what I had done, and we said, okay, the best asset for you that we can push forward is your voice. So let's do something where we highlight your voice, build nice arrangements around them, bring in a little bit of a Nashville vibe because you could probably get something in there. Not country, because I'm not country. Nothing about me.
I'm glad you're not.
Central Park is about as close to the outdoors as I want to get.
I don't blame you there.
I'm not. I just can't. It's not me. It's not my thing. But you say you bring in a little bit of elements like that, like a pedal steel and maybe some brushes instead of drumsticks for every song. Find what works. And then have lyrics that really tell a story. And my thing stylistically to then go back to the classic singer-songwriter, that's really trying to say something, not necessarily being progressive, but if you were to sit down and listen to the music and hear what I'm saying, it could make you think a little bit, but more importantly, it makes you feel something. And as the writer, it has to be something that I went through, or someone that I'm close to went through, or something that I've seen. You know, it has to hit me before it can hit them. And it's not that my other songs weren't doing that, but as far as what he wants from me in a lyrical perspective, it's just to hit the nerve a bit more and care less about catchy. Yeah. You know, maybe not be satirical or trying to sound clever, because I have a lot of those songs where it's a little bit over dramatic or tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Really try and saying something simple could be the best way to do it, and that will hit home. So that's what we're going for. I don't have pyrotechnics yet or anything like that. I'm just hoping to hit somebody with a good song.
They're in the works though, right?
We're getting there, you know.
Got a little Kiss stage show on the horizon.
Trying on flame retardant suits. It's just a matter of finding the one that fits and can handle as much heat. You know, that's been the problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did connect with your fans because you had a successful Kickstarter, reaching a little bit more than your goal of 20,000, which is beyond impressive. And I've seen a lot of bands do Kickstarters and whatnot, and they have some terrible packages. Like I've seen bands have a signed drum head for $2,000 or a signed guitar for 20 grand. Did you go into doing Kickstarter thinking more about your fans than the actual end goal of 20,000?
Yeah, I mean, I try to do it mutually, honestly, because I know what I need. And then I had to think, well, what would they want? What would I want? If I was in their position to say, okay, here's my card, my goal, my earned cash, what would I want to be spending it on? So I tried to create packages that were a bargain, and at the same time could
making money.
You know, yeah, it would be enough for me, and where every time it went up a level, you could say, well, I kind of want that. So maybe I will give another $10, another $25, because that's a pretty cool thing. I did do the whole signed guitar. I did the whole, I could write a song for you about a topic that, you know, but compared to what I was looking at from everybody else doing a Kickstarter at that specific time, I tried to price it a little bit less and then throw in maybe an extra tchotchke or something that, well, at least it's something else, you know? And again, I ran it by a bunch of people before I put it out there. Say, would you go for any of these? And I got more yeses than nos. And once I felt it was at a good balance, I said, okay, then this thing is ready to go live. And fortunately, it worked.
Yeah, that's awesome. So other than your single Rock Me to Heaven, you also have an upcoming NYC show, March 12th at the Producers Club, 358 West 44th Street. For more information, you can call 212-315-4743 or producersclub.com. So have you ever played the Producers Club before?
I haven't. I'm excited to do it because it's really small. And this is going to be the first time that I ever do a true storyteller's show. I've never done that. I've always wanted to. I love talking about the creative process and what a song is about, where my inspiration came from. So to do that and to do it with an audience that clearly wants to hear about it because they're there, that's going to be pretty cool. So and the other fun thing, not to cut you off.
No, continue.
Cut them off.
At the end of the night, there's going to be, I think, 2 other acts with me, and we're not sure who they are yet. But at the end of the night, we're going to keep the party going and just do an open mic. So anybody that wants to just come out and sing, you can, and it's just going to keep going all night, basically. So it's going to be really fun.
So wait, you're playing, but you're also going to be narrating afterwards, or like going over how you wrote songs and stuff?
If I go into a song, I'll just give a little bit of background on it, you know, and that's really cool. And if people have questions, people want to shout, it's very informal. And I've been to shows like that with bigger acts and smaller acts, and that's really fun because no matter how large the space is, eventually it turns into feeling like you're in their living room. And it just, I don't know, you really get into it. And if that's not your thing, then it's the wrong show for you to go to. But as a songwriter, I love hearing about that stuff from whoever created it. So I enjoy those types of shows. They're pretty fun. And to get to do one myself is going to be a pretty wild experience, I think.
Yeah, so it's basically your MTV Unplugged already.
Basically. Basically, and I hope to do a real one eventually.
Do they still do Unplugged or no?
Every so often, I think VH1 does it.
They have the storytellers on VH1, right?
Yeah, but even then, They might only do it digitally now. I don't know. It might only be .com content. I'm not sure. It's not, it's not the same.
Yeah, no.
They got rid of so many good things.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
MTV News Unplugged. I wish that stuff was the music videos even.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, YouTube kind of killed it all.
Yeah.
They did.
How can you compete with that? It's on demand whenever you want it on any device now. So you don't need to be home at 9:00 on a Saturday to watch it anymore. So I get it.
Yeah, I remember a few years back. I don't know if you remember this one, Dan, but there was actually a channel. I think it was like channel 99. It wasn't a pay-per-view channel, but it was something called The Box, where you called up a 900 number and you put in a little code, and the music video would be up next on a rotation.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I've seen that in malls where you can request a song and they'll play it in the the food court and the
Really?
video. Too. Yeah. Yeah.
So
they
we'll
just have
request
this-
this song in the food court.
Yeah, just keep requesting Jamie songs.
If I was on there, yeah, I'd keep doing that for sure.
All right, so it's actually impressive. You're doing all of this. You're actually working with your idol, successful Kickstarter, all without a label. Is there any label interest at all, or are you just taking things one day at a time?
I'm taking one thing at a time, and but there is a little bit of interest, and that's kind of where I sit now, because when we did the Kickstarter for 20 grand, it was to do a 4 or 5 track EP. But then we had a little bit of movement, and Gino and I met together, and we said, okay, what do we do? And the course of action that we chose to take was to present a full-length album so that we can do what we want and present a full product. So from there right now, we're going to open another crowdsourcing thing to try and get some more funding, but we're also we're looking into the endorsement side. We're looking into, deeper pockets and venture capitalist sort of thing to say, like, are you interested in getting on board with this? Because we do need a little bit more funding to do these extra 5 songs. So that's basically where my attention is right now, along with my demoing of stuff. So, it's a process, but when we open it up to the public again, there'll be even more rewards. There'll be different rewards. And the people that contributed to the first Kickstarter, I sent a big message out there, ran it by everyone. And the response from people that talked back was really great, because they looked at it as, hey, we're getting more music and you're getting to do something even more with someone you look up to. So live the dream and ride it out. And it's been great. It's really been great. I can't say enough about the fans and the support that I've been getting from every direction. It's really been wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. So, quick question for you. You've played multiple shows. Is there one that sticks out in your mind? Maybe like something goofy happened, or maybe your mic cut out, or we just like hearing like horror stories about different.
I have so many horror stories you wouldn't even believe. The first time I played the Whiskey was a huge challenge, because I had people in the band walk out on me the day before the show, and I had to get someone else to come in. I've had it where monitors in front of me have literally blown up.
Oh, Jesus!
Like, well, can't hear that anymore. I mean, not a real explosion, but.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's out. Well, now I can't hear anything, so that's no good. I've been double booked, shown up at the venue where it was. I don't want to name the venue, but it was a long way from home. Showed up. Oh, we double booked tonight. So now what?
And you got bumped?
You tell me. Here's the contract. Will you tell me what we're gonna do? And they didn't let me play, which was a real bummer. And where it came from, it's a real reputable venue, and I was really shocked that it would happen on such a large scale. Hey, let's see. There's got to be a couple other things. I had one of the worst ones. I was in Arizona, and when I do the full band show, we play to a click track because we have some sequence stuff. Click track came through the speakers for the house to hear. Like, oh no, someone turned that off. Fix it. What's happening? It wasn't happening before. So that was a total bummer. We've had it where same tour in Arizona. We were promised to have a backline for us, and showed up and nothing was there.
Oh, jeez.
So we had to totally improvise everything, and still made it work. But there have been plenty of last minute things that you just go, what? How? There was one, I forgot where I played. I played a small place pretty locally in New York, and I legit thought the stage was going to collapse because every time I jumped, it was giving so much, and I thought, well, this is not a good thing. I had a show where this is a good one. I had a bass player that we did 2 sets that night. Mm-hmm. Legit, he played the whole first set with the amplifier off.
Oh my God!
What?
Yeah, whole first set without the amplifier, and we did the line check and everything. It was on, and then he went and turned it off when he went off stage,
and never turned it on.
Never, and I didn't pay attention to it because I didn't hear it or anything because what's coming out of my mix. I don't need bass in my mix. I just need to make sure I can hear background vocals and drums, really. And when I went off stage, someone approached me like, "Dude, you didn't turn the bass amp back on. What? Are you kidding me?" It's ridiculous. And he had no idea. So that's another good one.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's another good one. So it happens all the time.
Wow. So speaking of your shows, we have a lot of gearheads out there. What kind of guitars do you use? What kind of in-ear monitors, if you use any, microphones?
I'm a huge Yamaha guy, and I'm a keyboard player, piano player. So anything Yamaha from their keys and their patches, I absolutely love it. When I play guitar on stage, I have an acoustic Fender, and my electric is an Ibanez, a Geo. That was my first ever guitar that I got in college. And typically I go on the road with an SM58 for my vocals. There have been a couple others that I've used. I've used a Blue before, the Encore. The 200 and the 300 are very nice. And for the sequence that I have going, it's Ableton Live, and that program. I used to work at Sam Ash, and I had the rep come in, and he basically turned me into an expert in a day. Like, this is how you do everything, and here you go. Here's the program. Like, really cool. Thanks, man. So I like Roland keyboards too, but for me, if you put me behind a Yamaha, man, I love the sound and of their guitars too. There's some Yamaha guitars on Rock Me to Heaven, the acoustics, and it's a what are we using as the keyboard? It might be a motif. I think it's a motif that we're using. So, yeah.
Wow.
I actually use I mean, I don't use them, personally, but we have Yamaha kits at the studio that we practice at.
Sure.
And it's like a low level kit, probably less than $800, and it sounds awesome.
The drums?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like their kits too. I like Tama's and Pearls, of course. There's something classic about that, and the Ludwigs because I'm a huge Beatles fan. So
Slingerland.
Yeah, I mean, there's it depends. To me, it depends a lot about what I'm doing too. And of course, if you have a really good drummer that knows how to tune it, and if it's mic'd properly, man, you can get some unbelievable sound out of a lot of those kits. It's fun. I like practicing as far as an electric kit goes on the Roland V drums. I used to have a set of that. Those are pretty fun. Yeah, they are, but they're fun to practice on when you don't want to make a lot of noise.
Yeah, definitely. I actually started making my own electronic drums.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
Sweet.
He actually has PVC pipe holding up the drums.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, to make the what do you call it, the rack.
Very DIY.
Yeah, definitely.
Good for you, man. That's pretty cool. I wish I had the brain capacity to build a keyboard.
Oh, I don't.
It's so nerdy to talk about keyboards.
Yeah,
it's just.
I understand.
It's just one of those things. It's like not as cool as a Gibson SG.
Building my own guitar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not Eddie Van Halen building Frankenstein and customizing a paint job and everything. It's like, yeah, I have my Motif XS8 and it has 10,000 patches in it. And it's like, okay, whatever, that's cool.
I mean, honestly, I don't have the brain capacity to build the drums. I just one day I'm like, oh, I really want an electronic kit because I want to practice, obviously, with loud volumes and destroying my neighbors, whatever. But I just Googled it, YouTube, and I was like, oh wow, this looks so easy. I'm gonna build my own drums.
There you go. That's awesome.
That's a scary thing about YouTube.
You gotta let me hear how they sound when you're all done.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say, that's a scary thing about YouTube. Anything you want to build in the world, you just type it in and it pops up.
It's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had problems with my recording software. YouTube. How to fix blah, blah, blah. And it's there.
And boom.
It's always been there. I'm like, there it is.
Yeah. Google really nailed a big target with purchasing YouTube. Mm-hmm. How much did they get? Like $1 billion or something like that for it?
I have no clue.
Something like that. And they bought it a long time ago, too.
Yeah.
So did you make any money off YouTube?
Me?
Yeah.
Pennies. I mean, we're talking very minimal. I think I could buy a sandwich with it.
Yeah, because I think
even having a couple of successful videos, you're not talking much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still nice. Still nice to
definitely
see the recognition.
It's funny, the podcast we just put out last week with our friend Justin, he's a business owner, and I was telling him about, on my band's Spotify, we have about 15,000 plays for all of our songs, and I only made maybe $60 out of it. Yeah,
it's not fair in a lot of ways, but then they need to figure this stuff out. It's I don't know. It's the sort of thing. They really didn't think that file sharing thing was going to catch on.
No.
Boy, were they wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe Tidal's the answer. I mean, think about it. Kanye's already exclusively on Tidal, that whole album, and apparently he has another one coming this summer. I don't believe it, but you never know.
You never know. But he's $53 million in debt, so...
Which I still don't understand.
I don't know. I mean, he can't be... I mean, I've seen his clothing line. It's not... Is he using expensive material for that stuff? I don't get it. Is he just bad at his spending habits? I don't know.
I really don't know. And there was actually a YouTube video out there, like one of those like reality videos, where they went up to random people and said, "Hey, we have this Kanye sweater on. How much do you think it's worth?" And they say like 2,000, 3,000, whatever. Yeah, we have these Kanye pants. And then earlier in the video, they went to a thrift shop and actually bought everything for $57. And people were confused, thinking that it was actually Kanye stuff.
Oh, okay. Wow. I don't know. It's a wacky industry at this point.
Yeah, like we said before, it's all about that gimmick. You have that successful gimmick, you're gold.
Yeah, it's true. There's a lot to that, but I really do hope that some good music starts to shine through. And every here and there, you do come across a gem, but it's not like before our time. I listened to some of that stuff with no technology, basically, and you go, how the heck did they do that?
Exactly.
But I hope that it starts to turn again. I feel that it will.
Copy, cut, and paste. I didn't do that. I just played the song perfectly.
Yeah, what's Pro Tools?
Yeah, but I mean, even the way that they had to edit with tape splicing.
Yes.
I've seen someone tape splice. That's what you have to do? Holy cow! I mean, that's incredible.
We've got it easy.
How do you do that? And to do that for a lot of things in one song.
Yeah.
Not lose your place. I mean, you're basically cutting something and putting it somewhere else. Legit cut and paste. And it has to be perfect so that you don't hear a clip or something. It's really...
And you never heard the clip.
No, you never
And
heard
they do it every time perfectly.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And then especially when it comes to vocals, I'm a nitpicker when it comes to singers. Mm-hmm. I mean, listen to Queen, man. They were great. Freddie Mercury was unbelievable. Those harmonies, those arrangements. There's no auto-tune. One guy wrote that song. Now you need 10 people to write "You a Stupid Hoe" for 3 minutes.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
You a stupid
I mean, I think that says a lot about where we are. And that's not a good thing.
So do you think we became more of like a lazy society, more about like that one little hook than, you comparing Bohemian Rhapsody to, "You a Stupid Hoe"?
Yeah, I mean, besides, have you ever seen WALL-E, the Pixar film?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in a lot of ways, we already are those people that are in WALL-E, where you're just sitting in your little, whatever that moving vehicle thing is with the TV, right?
Yeah.
Everything you want is given to you. And I mean, when Lemmy passed away, and I think he came out actually after Bowie passed away too, and they talked about we like the older generation putting out a meme saying we bought our music and got, and it shows their face.
Yeah.
You get your music for free and have this. And you know what? Maybe there is some truth to that. Like we're not really getting quality. And I know there are people out there that are going to disagree with me, and that's fine. This is just my opinion. But when you break everything down, I can't believe when I listen to some of the classic hits that those songs were the things consistently on the radio and on the top of the charts. If that came out now and we had never heard of it before and it had been in our human consciousness for 40 years, there's no way Bohemian Rhapsody is a hit song today.
No.
Absolutely no way. Even to go more recently with a song like November Rain, there is no way November Rain is a hit in today's musical market. And to me, that's a shame because we're missing out on something.
Yeah, and there's definitely the next Queen out there. There's definitely the next Guns N' Roses, but we're never going to find out. That's the problem.
And that's really a crying shame because they should have that same level of success with the way technology is. On the road, I got to meet and perform with Hailstorm.
Oh, yeah, great band.
Love them.
Lizzie is absolutely a sweetheart, and they're fantastic, especially doing the hard rock thing that they're doing. And they have a huge following, don't get me wrong, but I don't hear them on Z100. I don't hear them on Kiss out in Los Angeles. I don't hear them consistently on Top 40 radio. But if this was 20 years ago, a band like them would be on Top 40 radio.
Exactly.
And they'd be putting something out there that you go, wow, that's good. And I mean, I have more than enough guilty pleasure pop songs from ABBA through the Backstreet Boys. But there's something consistent about the melody and the harmonies in there that you say there's something to it. I'm not going to compare them to Queen or to Deep Purple or Yes or any of those progressive bands, but they were good at what they did or do if they're still performing today. But I don't think what we're getting out there now is necessarily even good to begin with because it needs all this compression, melodyne, and auto-tune. And that's too bad.
It is. And in 20 years, do you think these songs would last the test of time?
I don't think so. How could they? I mean, there's always going to be nostalgia, but I mean, that's only going to take you so far. No one, I think, is going to be breaking down the doors to see a Partridge Family reunion. And I love a lot of Partridge Family songs, and David Cassidy is very good, and he still goes out there and he sings.
Yep.
But it wasn't the Beatles. The Monkees weren't the Beatles, even though they went to #1 in '67 and beat out Sgt. Pepper. But the Beatles are still the Beatles, and the Monkees are still the Monkees. To me, it's the same sort of thing, and we just don't have that the sky opens up and an Angels choir goes, there's that band. We don't have that right now, and I really hope that we get that soon.
Yeah, it's more about bragging about what they have, what you don't have, and it's that's all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a show. It's like I can compare it to the NBA. I used to love the NBA in the '90s. Now I feel like they care more about their shoe endorsement than actually playing the game. Mm-hmm. It's because besides what Golden State is doing, and I love a 3-point game. That's what I used to do when I was playing. But it's very sloppy to me. Everything about the game is just there's no fundamentals. Football's like that too. Nobody can tackle anymore. Just want to hit you at their shoulder and knock you down. But if you just wrap the guy up, you can prevent the first down.
Exactly.
So that's what it feels like to me with music. We're missing the basics. And I think part of that comes with the fact that they're trying to eliminate music in schools. That's a problem because it should be an outlet for people. It should be something that they explore no matter what. They don't need to be a pro at it, but you can walk away feeling really good after you do something musical. And, it's a shame that usually the arts are the first thing to go. And I think that's a problem.
Well, yeah, because mostly everybody uses or loves music, in one shape or form. But I don't know, for history, I mean, I might use it sometimes, but I would say most people would use something they would learn in music class over something they learn in history, unless they actually go to school for history or they're a history buff. I think most people listen to music than, research history on their own.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, from music, it can help your math scores, and when you write lyrics and focus on that, it can help you in English class too. There's even science. If you get into engineering, they talk about electricity. You need to know the voltage. You need to know the hertz.
Yep.
And it can help you in a lot of other things. So it's just really a shame that they say, well, what should we get rid of? Music? Art class? Okay, let's do that. And I think that's also part of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our connection's actually going in and out a little bit, so I think it's a good time to wrap things up. Jamie, you want to plug away?
Sure. I hope everyone goes out and checks out my single, Rock Me to Heaven. Please take a look at it on YouTube. You can go on my website, jamiealimorad.com. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, every place that you connect with anybody socially, I'm there. I'd love to hear from you, and I appreciate you guys having me on the show. It's been a blast. Thanks for letting me get on my soapbox with everything, and I want to hear those drums when you get them all set up.
Definitely.
All right, Jamie, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thanks so much,
man.
guys.
All right.
Take care. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.